Am I back? Hi!
I apparently don't have the right microphone plugged in right now, so the stream can't hear me. Sorry, there's a thing over us. I'm plugging in my
Well, I'll say your
microphone.
thing.
Okay. Okay.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, filmmakers and moviegoers alike. Welcome to Crazy Casual.
Yeah, there we go. All right, they can hear me now. I'm your host, Freak
Wow,
House.
your audio just like jumped tenfold for me as well.
You're welcome. I'm your host, Freak House. And joining me, as always, is the
Hold on, my audio
magnificent.
is about to get shit for a second.
Click, click. Okay, nice, nice, nice. You can hear me better now.
Yeah, actually,
Sweet.
I don't have to have you so low.
Okay.
Just please don't yell, because this headset is pretty bad.
Okay.
When it's over phone calls. This was a great streaming headset, I'll say that, but after that, it doesn't serve much purpose. I might open the door so I can get some airflow.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, we can hear the beeping.
Never
now.
mind.
Just roll down the window a
Yep.
bit.
If I turn on the car again, the audio gets mixed up, which means I have to fix the audio, which messes up the video because I have to get out of the video.
Yeah, which, by the way, the video's a little messed up at the moment. So yeah,
Yeah, I know.
This
It's
is
gonna
gonna-
happen.
yeah. So this is there's gonna be a couple mistakes throughout the show tonight where it's not mistakes, it's just technical difficulties. But this is what happens when one of us travels.
I'm not at home, and even if I was at home, I'd be on a phone.
So it's all good. So let's just get rolling here. We don't have much time until your game starts. So let's just hop into the show today and talk about what we're doing. Today's show,
Woo!
I called it "If It Ain't Broke, Don't Fix It." With Cinderella 2015 and The Lion King 2019, and then we're gonna wrap everything up with the news and wrap up. Do you think that
Which
was?
we'll blaze through as much as we can because there was a lot that happened this week.
Yeah. So
Fucking San Diego Comic-Con deciding to fucking inform us of shit. Who do they think they are?
right. So do you think this is an appropriate title for today?
I think it's fair.
Okay.
Fair enough with one of them, especially.
Okay.
One of them does change a little bit, I'll say.
The other one also changes a little bit, but
Like, two things. Maybe two things changes.
okay. So let's hop right on into the first movie of today, Cinderella, the original live-action film made in 2015, starring let's see here,
Starring Rob Stark,
starring Kate Blanchett
Dr. Yeah, Kate Blanchett.
and Lily James
Yep.
as Cinderella,
Mhm.
and Richard Madden as the prince, Mr. Kit.
Yep. We got Stellan, the dude from
Stellan Skarsgård.
yeah, Mr. Skarsgård. Also from the likes of Thor, Thor 2, Avengers 1, Avengers 2.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah, I get you. I get
can't
you.
remember his character's name off the top of my head now. I had it before this. It's gone.
It's fine. That happens every once in a while. So we have all these absolutely lovely people in this movie, which was a remake of the original Cinderella, which I don't remember when that came out, in all honesty, because I wasn't born yet at that time.
Yeah.
But I'll find out real fast. Original Cinderella was released.
Let me guess. I'll guess 1956.
Well, the original book was 1810. The film was 1950.
Damn, 6 years off. Damn it! I was gonna go 52, and I was like, maybe it's older than that. Maybe it's younger than that.
Yeah,
you know,
it was.
maybe I'll give it. Fuck! I should have just pulled the trigger. I'm like, I was guessing like 45, 50 in my head. I'm like, you know what? I'll go 56.
Yeah. It says here that the first ever showing was, fun fact, movie history. First ever showing of Cinderella was in theaters February 15th, 1950 in Boston, Massachusetts. It was then re-released in 1957, 1965, 1973, 1981, and then 1987.
Jesus Christ!
It wasn't like remade, but it was re-released. Like
I know,
from
that's
the
a
vault
lot of
and such.
re-releases, though.
Yeah. Oh god, that looked weird for a moment. The camera chose a really awkward time to freeze. Oh, fix that, please, for the love of God. I can't be
What
nonchalant about that one.
What?
You gave like a tongue flick. It was odd. Oh,
Awesome.
that's
All right, so this Cinderella has our King of the North, Rob, who I'll say this: what they do with the prince, I feel, does make the story better
okay.
in this one, because it's not just like, ooh, one night and they meet and then they fall in love.
Mhm.
It's like they at least have some previous encounter, even if it's just one previous encounter.
Mhm.
It at least builds that a little bit better.
Yeah, she was in that one encounter. She was able to leave enough of a mark on him to be like, "Ooh, I'm interested."
Yes,
Instead of just
which
being,
works better.
yeah, it's nice. It makes this a more wholesome story rather than a, "You look pretty, I want to marry you" story.
Yeah,
But
yeah, and it's the cast is good. Um,
we got a disconnect there. Holding, waiting. I agree with him that the cast is good, but his phone has to catch up on the internet lag. We'll see what happens here. But I agree with him. The cast was pretty good. I'd say the worst one. Um, who would be the worst one in this movie? They were all relatively just as good as any others. But Dev here is still frozen with no sound on my side, and I wonder if he can hear me. Do I need to end the call and restart it? Is that something that has to happen? What's going on, I wonder? Is this gonna be Street Cuffs does critically casual alone? Find out in 5 minutes. Absolutely, it's not the worst freeze frame. Like, the frame that he's stuck on right now, that he's lagged on, looks not that bad. Like, sure, it's a mouth open gaze as he's looking at us, or I mean, looking at me, because goddamn, he just can't keep his eyes off me. Just look, you could see my reflection right there. I don't know if you guys can see the mouse. You can. But you can see my reflection right there, that little speck in his glasses. Oh. Hello.
hey,
Are you back?
I think
Okay.
my phone overheated
Overheated?
because it was directly in the sunlight. I should have listened to you and gone down a level.
Oh, that's funny. Okay. Are you also plugged in? Those phones die fast now, apparently. Kidding, it doesn't matter.
I'm going to be, but
All right.
Hopefully it doesn't overheat to death again. Also got
Yeah.
a vent going at it.
Okay. Yeah. Now just don't kill your car battery or else you're trapped out there.
Well, I have the car running.
Okay. No, that's fine. You're just idling. That's fine. All
Is
right.
it?
Not really. But it's fine.
Hold on.
It's hard to do this. I understand. So, where you were saying before you lagged out and your phone overheated that you liked the cast and you're going to keep going.
Yes. The cast is better than you would think. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Like, I was...
Like,
Go ahead.
it's different.
In its own ways, and makes it pretty enjoyable. Did my audio just
Yeah, and your video froze.
Fucking.
More technical difficulties. But yeah, I was mentioning that while you were lagged out and
You keep.
overheated. He said I keep something. I'm assuming I keep lagging out on his end. I don't know. Or is it I keep talking and distracting everybody while he figures this out? He's moving. I can see some kind of movement. I hear him again.
He's moving. He's some kind of movement. And hello.
Hi!
Hi. So it's better. It's like they improve on the story beats essentially.
Yeah.
And the characters feel a little bit more fleshed out, given the fact that it's a fucking 30-minute longer movie than what it used to be.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Like,
So
I was wondering what, like, when you and me first talked about this, like, me, Dev and I first talked about what version of this film we were going to watch, the theatrical release or the extended edition. We chose the theatrical release because we decided, you know what? It's already 20 minutes longer than the original movie. We don't need to add another 40 on top of that. So,
yeah,
and I'm kind of okay with the 20 minutes that they added. Like, they added drama to some
Yeah.
scenes, they gave more backstory to others, and I mean, the beginning was a bit long and drawn out, but
yeah.
after that, it
It's a good way
was,
of putting it.
yeah. But after that, I felt it was a fine Cinderella story. You know, like I probably would have liked it more if I was if I was a like an 8-year-old girl, but
You said Cinderella story, and I just thought of Hilary Duff.
no. So another side tangent. I looked up Cinderella on Netflix, and what ended up happening was I found a Cinderella
I
story.
know exactly what.
A Cinderella story
Three
too.
different Cinderella stories.
Yeah, and then there was like a fourth one that was like DJ Cinderella, and I was like, what the hell does that even mean?
Wait, is that part of that? It's not part of the same story.
No, it's not. But it's just a completely
DJ
other.
Cinderella.
Yeah, DJ Cinderella. It was just.
I saw all of those.
Oh god, it just.
That was funny.
Yeah, I was a little upset by it. It was just. Uh, whatever. I ignored that and went on with my life and ended up renting the video on YouTube, and it all went fine.
I went through Amazon as usual.
I couldn't get it through Amazon this time around. It was trying to charge me $15.
Weird. It only charged me $4 for the rental.
Yeah. So.
Other things like, I mean, with the fairy godmother scene's kind of cool. The film just feels a little bit fleshed out. Is the best way to put it. Like, it feels just as whimsical in a lot of ways. It doesn't feel as just like copy pasted as some of the others.
Yeah.
That Disney has put out. So, I mean, I actually kind of enjoyed myself with it more than I thought I would. So,
Like it.
and here we were for months shitting on this one.
Yeah. Right.
Compared to the rest of the goddamn fucking remakes that have already come out. We shat on this one like no one remembers.
Oh, there goes the lag again. Oh. But he's right. We did for months say that we weren't looking forward to watching Cinderella. And he's not wrong when you try to compare it to other live action Disney movies. Every single one has been kind of lackluster. I mean, Aladdin was okay at times. And, well, I mean, Beauty and the Beast was meh. What else came out? Oh, who knows? A lot of things have come out. And a lot of them are pretty meh. That's an awful freeze frame for you this time, Dev. I am so sorry. I'm assuming his phone overheated again. And it just isn't going to work out. Oh, he's back. Maybe.
Okay, so I can't charge it as we do this.
Okay. I think you might be better to just do no video too. Since
Are you sure?
Yeah, we keep freeze framing. All we need to do is hear you. It's fine.
All right, fine. I won't.
And
I might undo it for when we get to a certain part.
oh yeah, absolutely. So just for right now, no video, so your phone doesn't freak out.
All right, fine.
Okay. So, you were mentioning that you liked that it was overall it was kind of nice in comparison to the other films, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, because we've done. What all have we done? We've done.
Dumbo. We watched Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, that was awful. I missed Beauty and the Beast and Jungle Book.
Mm-hmm.
But from what you and Jay kind of said, it was just like copy and pasted almost.
Pretty much as
for
well.
Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah.
And then we did the Alice ones, which weren't copy and paste, but like they weren't that good. Though
Yeah.
I do stand by that the sequel is better than the first one.
Yes. Yes. So then we get to this film.
And surprisingly more enjoyable.
Yeah, like it kept a lot of the original Disney movie charm, but updated it as well and gave us like things that were relatable and a little more charming. Like it's hard not to enjoy a little cute fat mouse. Am I right?
I can agree.
So,
But yeah, no, it's just it was surprisingly good.
absolutely. So if I asked you to give a rating to this movie in the form of like 10 popcorn kernels, how many would you give this film?
I would give it probably a 7.5, honestly.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice. That's
I felt that it treaded with the original while still improving upon it and telling its own version of the original.
okay.
Which is kind of what I've been saying that Disney needs to do.
Mm-hmm.
And the closest other than that we've seen is Aladdin. That or they need to tell an entirely new story, which they haven't been super successful with.
Mm-hmm.
With Dumbo and Alice. But like Alice 2 wasn't the worst movie I've seen. So this one kind of does the telling the original with new beats and changes, which was kind of what Aladdin did and wasn't bad either. So
Mm-hmm. So when we get to news and wrap up, I have like a little theory I want to talk to you about Disney's future. But overall, like I would all in all kind of agree with you, but I'm not gonna necessarily say it's a 7.5 for me. I'm gonna give it more just a 6.5 myself. Because don't get me wrong,
that's fair.
yeah, it was very cute. It was very fun. It was very Disney, but it was also very Disney. So
That's fair. And I would say I would have put it out at 7 maybe, but I actually enjoyed it more than I expected, so I'm giving it a half point extra for
I would say
being better than expected.
yeah, I would say if I went back and watched the original Cinderella, I would enjoy this one more than the original probably now. But that one's up in the air.
I think so too.
So, with that being said and done, let's move on to our next big ferocious roar of a movie with The Lion King 2019.
Literally? Can I start?
Sure, absolutely.
Literally everything I said that I was afraid would be wrong with this film was wrong with this film.
Yeah, I wish I could say you weren't right, but you're right.
It was bland. Like, my biggest problem with this entire film was the coloring was so bland.
Mm-hmm.
It was just, everything was a beige.
Yeah.
With hints of green depending on where you are.
Mm-hmm.
That was it.
Yeah.
That was your color.
Yeah, that was something I noticed too. The only real difference that you could see between any scenes was the saturation. And even then, like, when it was under Mufasa and Simba was around with, like, Zazu and stuff, everything was normal colored. But then it's still just browns and a little bit of green. Maybe some water. But then once it's supposed to be, like, dark and you're around mean, evil characters, they turn everything a little bit more gray. because they kind of tried to make it more realistic.
But it's a beigeish gray.
Yeah, it's still just the exact same color. It's just grayer, just a little bit toned down because evil people are a little more dark and muted. Yeah.
It's painful in that sense because Lion King, the animated movie, is a colorful spectacle, and I love it for that. Like, you wanna know how pissed off I was from the get-go?
How's that?
You know how in the original movie it starts out with pitch black, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then, as it goes on,
The sun goes up.
the sun just cracks over and you're, ah, Semenya!
Mm-hmm.
Like, the sun is the first color you see. This one, because they have to do this photorealistic bullshit, you get the entire environment around you real quick. And then the sun peaks. Not even center, mind you. It's to the side when it pops up. It's not even a centered sunrise.
Okay,
like
yeah.
it was in the movie.
Yeah, I get you. It wasn't a giant sunrise either, for that matter.
I mean, yeah, but it's still, it just, like, it did not capture that feeling. And the other biggest problem I had during this, besides that, was when we get closer to Pride Rock. Because in the cartoon, there's this sense of grandiose scale to Pride Rock, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it just looks massive. It's giant.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a giant Pride
this,
Rock.
It's not.
Mm-hmm. It's just, it's rock that lions live at.
It's a rock formation that lions live in. I'm just like, I mean, yes, you're trying to be realistic, but you just destroyed this, like, sense of scale and
wonder and fantasy.
Yeah. Yes. It's just like from the get-go. I'm already sitting there like, oh no. Oh no, no, no. I was right. I didn't want to be right. I wanted to be so wrong. I walked in, I had my, my precognition of the film as
notions.
much. Yes. As far out of the door as I could. They were still in the door, I will admit this, because I'm a sucker for Lion King.
Mm-hmm.
Which probably added to my disappointment from the get-go.
No, yeah. I could kind of agree with you. When it came to this movie, all in all, there was a few things that I was disappointed about. Like, I have to say first that before I start talking about the bad things, the visuals like that we did get, like the updated graphics with the computer generation, like that looked like real water. Those looked like, for the most part, real animals.
Oh yeah, this entire film is CGI, and it looks real.
Yeah, it looks...
Good job.
Yeah. Some of the shots that they did make look absolutely stunning. Like the silhouettes that they pull off, and like whenever they do use the color from like the sun, it kind of does look really cool. But other than that, it is very gray and muted and brown and beiges and all that stuff. So that's the stuff I like. The stuff that I didn't really like, since the characters are more realistic, the animals don't give nearly as much expressiveness. And that was a lot of the stuff that I missed. Like, there are times when spoilers, I'm just kidding, like, when the traumatic moment with Mufasa happens, I was sitting there like, shouldn't I see more sadness?
Right? It does not hit nearly as hard.
Yeah, I was crying, but it was only because I was remembering me crying watching the original movie when I was 8 years old. Like...
Okay, strangely enough, I didn't quite cry, but I was like, I remember this scene being so much more impactful, and like the feelings of the original film kind of came in. I'm like... But then it like the feelings of the original got melded with my disappointment. I was like, I almost want to cry out of disappointment for not feeling it that way right now.
Yeah, no. It's just
there was.
It was a
and
little...
like,
Go ahead.
I know I said that I was hopeful that the cast was going to be better, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you want to know who I was most hopeful would be better?
Who's that?
Right, or be just as good? Was Timon and Pumbaa. I was like, Timon and Pumbaa should be good, right?
Mm-hmm. Who's the one that disappointed you?
Timon mostly.
For me, it was actually Pumbaa.
I'm not surprised because they're both kind of disappointing.
Yeah. Like, each one of them has their own little disappointments. And I hate to say it, but I feel like the way that Timon was played, it would have been better by playing it by someone by, like, Kumal Nanjiani that we just saw in, like, well, that is in Stuber.
Yes! Yes! He just played a CGI character in Men in Black. Just give him this role.
Exactly. So, I feel like that would have been much better than Billy Eichner. But he did... Overall, I think Billy Eichner did fine compared to, like, Seth Rogen and his Pumbaa. In my opinion.
I would argue Seth Rogen did better, but at the same time, I had problems with both of them to the point that I was like, I'm almost wanting you guys to go away. Which... I don't like that. I don't like that one bit. I don't want you to go away, but I want you to go away. Stop. Stop doing what you're doing.
Stop doing what you're doing. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It's like, and it literally, it's a tread. If you've seen the original, you've seen this besides, I can think of 2 tweaks that happened.
I was kind of surprised with
Maybe
the meta
3.
humor that they threw in with this.
Oh, I want to talk about that meta humor during spoilers.
Okay. I was genuinely surprised that they're like, with the stuff they brought up. I was like, really? Fuck you, Disney.
Oh, man. Yeah. The meta humor jokes were like Deadpool level fourth wall breaking bullshit. And I'm like, I kind of hate you now.
Yeah, that was
like
that was just a slap
not
in the face.
This film. Not in this film that you're already just making me dislike. Because like, and I'll be honest, when I do get to my rating on this, there's no way I can't rate it based off of what I feel from the first one either at this point.
Okay, yeah, that was a thing I wanted to talk to you about too.
It can't. The reason why it can't be is because it's literally the same film. There's one character change, like with Eddie, the laughing hyena changes to an actual character now.
Yeah, but the problem is what they did is they got rid of the third hyena to make Eddie the smarter hyena.
Well, they had a fourth hyena there the entire time that did nothing, said nothing. If you've noticed that in some of the scenes, there's 4 hyenas, where there should be 3. Yeah, and there's always just a fourth one for some reason. Like on one of the scenes, I won't say when it is, they had the fourth one there just to kind of die.
I mean, a little bit. But otherwise, normally the conversations between the hyenas were between the 3, but they melded it between the 2 characters of Jordan Peele or Keegan Michael Key, my apologies, and Eric Andre, I believe it was.
Yeah, which I will say their chemistry was fun.
Yeah.
But they're both really good comedic actors, so I'm not surprised they're able to work really well off of each other.
I would definitely, I would agree that more. I'm almost surprised. I would almost say that the 2 of them as a duo meld better than Timon and Pumbaa do.
Yes, 100%. They could have been Timon and Pumbaa, and it would have been better. Yeah, Eric could have been Timon, and you could have had Jordan as Pumbaa. That would have been better. Was it Keegan? You said Jordan and messed me up earlier.
Yeah, I said Jordan the first time. My apologies. Yeah, it's Keegan Michael Key and Eric Andre.
Man, they had to have a show called Key and Peele, and it's just like they're so closely associated with each other.
Yeah, that's a problem. It's okay though.
It's not a problem, but it is a problem when you're just like when someone slips up and then you're slipping up.
Yeah, it's just.
But no, like the cast isn't dramatic. Like I expected, like Donald Glover to feel like it's bigger. You know what I mean? Because it's Donald Glover.
Yeah.
But no, it feels the same. Like they feel like the lines and the stuff. It feels the same, just with less.
Oh wow, that's
which
weird.
is really weird.
So
what?
In order, cast and credit. So they show the cast in credit order on IMDb, and they don't show Donald Glover or Beyonce until like the very end of the credits. And I guess the credits might be done in order of appearance, but
I think that's the order they did it. And those two literally show up as the last two.
yeah. So,
They're
which
the last two added to the cast.
and I do have to say though, like Donald Glover, all in all, sounded good to me, but I was kind of disappointed when he wasn't singing. Like when he was just playing Simba, it wasn't quite right. And then
Right?
straight up Beyonce, I didn't like.
Really? I thought she was a better Nala.
I thought I thought she couldn't really capture emotions. Like she talked to me very flat, very like one note, except for when she was singing. But then when she was singing, she was like a pop star trying to make herself known for the first time, and just like kind of thing over and over and over again in the singing.
I'm going to counter that with one. I don't think her voicing was flat, but when you pair it with like her voice, because she's not like a prolific actress, she's a singer.
I mean, she's been in movies before.
Yeah, but name one of them that's good.
Let me look that up while you make your point.
Because I know she was in Battleship. No, that was Rihanna. Was Battleship? Is Beyonce in anything that I know? What's Beyonce in?
I'm looking that up right now.
Rihanna's in that and that. Beyonce's in what?
She's in The Lion King. A lot of music videos. That's another music video. These are music videos.
Is this her first role?
Control F film.
This is her first film.
It might actually be her first film. I must have been wrong there.
Okay, for her first film, it's not bad for voice acting. I thought voice acting is easy. It's just like, you know, it's honestly harder to do voice acting than it is to do acting, because you're not
actually emoting
to someone.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like, I bet you if she was able, if they mocabbed her face better to the thing, its expressions would have come through weirder, because cats don't express like humans. But it would have, you know, there would have been more expression to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get you. Yeah.
But because our lions are so flat, I think it adds to that. Because, like, I like how we're opposites on each other with a couple of these, by the way.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
But, like, I felt Donald Glover was flat.
I mean, I also...
Which is really weird for Donald Glover. Because Donald Glover is never flat, let's be honest. Mm-hmm. Even in a role he's trying to be flat for, like, Spider-Man Homecoming, mm-hmm. where his character is supposed to be kind of flat, he's not even flat. You know what I mean?
I think yes, but I also think you're overusing the word flat.
I mean, in the sense of, like, he's not supposed to be super expressive. He's not supposed to be, you know, mm-hmm. he's kind of got monotone attitude, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In that.
Yeah.
And in that film, he does that. But because it's Donald Glover doing it, it adds a little bit more attitude to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's still some charisma in the gurgles of his throat.
Yeah, it's like a flat pancake. It's not really flat, because it's really fluffy and delicious.
It's not a crepe,
right?
It's a pancake.
Yes. And, you know, there's sustenance to it. While in these roles, actors who I know aren't flat still feel flat.
Okay.
You know? Like Seth Rogen. Seth Rogen never comes off as flat, right?
Yeah, Seth Rogen. I mean, I think the problem with Seth Rogen here is he's now getting popular for kind of out there in his raunchy humor, especially after Sausage Party. But now he's playing a kid-friendly movie, and he couldn't quite get as into it, I don't think. Like,
well, he's done roles beforehand, and he knows how to act. I'm gonna say that. Mm-hmm. But I think the problem with this role is that, like, I think with the problem with it is that they were just beat for beat what has already been done. Like,
Hmm. It's just literally the Lion King, but with PS4
with
graphics.
graphics. Yeah, pretty much PS5
Yeah,
graphics. I'll give it that. Like
they're really good graphics.
from a
Those,
from a technological standpoint, this film is fucking stunning.
yes,
But
absolutely.
when you know what the source material is, you're like,
Yeah, which is something I actually wanted to talk to you about because I've heard a lot of like back and forths between like critics, and it's that if they were to judge this movie on its own, it would get a pretty decent rating. But because it is literally the exact same as Lion King, just updated, it it's hard not to compare it and not give it a lower rating.
and like, how would you expect not to? Let's be honest. Like,
Mm-hmm.
no matter what you do, you're gonna have to compare this to the original version.
Because it,
Like, because it's beat for beat.
which,
Like, even the things they changed are still beat for beat. They're just minor
mm-hmm.
changes.
Except for there's one change that I thought was pretty drastic, which kind of made me a little sad, but it overall okay. It just made one of our characters not as perplexing, I guess would be a good word for it.
Are you talking about Rafiki?
Well, him. I was more thinking Scar.
Oh well, yeah. And who plays Scar in this?
Scar in
This guy from Doctor Strange, right?
is
Remember
how
correctly?
do I pronounce his name? All right, I'm gonna spell it to you first, and then I'll eventually try to pronounce it. It is first name Chiwetel. So I think it's Chiwetel. And then the last name is Ejiofor. So, eh, I'm just gonna call him
Yeah,
Scar.
yeah, no. Tweddle, he was in Doctor Strange.
Okay,
Um,
another
and
Marvel
like
connection that Dev loves.
I have to. I'm sorry. It's literally in my contract. Um, even though I make the contracts. But like he didn't feel like Scar. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
he wasn't nearly as menacing.
And part of it is also Jeremy Irons, the original voice of Scar,
Hmm.
is so attached to that role that you kind of like not casting him, but still casting James Earl Jones as Mufasa just kind of causes a little bit of
Yeah, that was. There's been quite a bit of controversy lately about that. Why cast one of the same actors if you're not going to cast all of the same actors that are still available?
or like at least the brothers. I don't know, like because Scar just like he feels
Like he's not a overall.
lighter.
Yeah, he's not a bad character by any means. He's
No.
just in comparison to the old Scar, he's just not as scary. He's not as menacing. He doesn't seem as much as a villain.
Yeah, it's a really good way of putting it.
So,
Because that's the only way I would put it is that because it's just like he's just kind of there almost is a good way of putting it as well.
yeah.
It's just like and some of the changes they do to some of the music too, by the way, bother me
Uh,
as well.
yeah, I would kind of agree. To me,
Like
the worst one was Scar's song.
oh yeah, without a doubt, the
Um,
changes they did to that just kind of like do one or the other for the love of God. Like you can't do this both ways bullshit.
yeah, exactly.
And that's the only one that they didn't like do almost beat for beat.
Hmm.
That they decided to actually change that one.
It's
Like
kind. It makes
song-wise?
yeah. It's a little upsetting what they did with the song, but it kind of makes sense with what they did, seeing as what the song used to be.
Well, okay.
They
Be
could change
Prepared
the
has some imagery.
Yeah, I was about to say they could change the imagery, no problem, but they could keep the song. I just think the problem
Yeah.
was the actor couldn't keep the voice with the music.
Yeah. Stand-ins. It's easy. Disney has been doing that for years,
That's true.
having stand-in singers for scenes.
That
I'm
is true.
sorry, but that's, in my opinion, that's not an excuse.
Okay.
But then again, they're going for the hyper-realistic bullshit. So like having Emma Watson sing, you know,
Okay. So I have one more question before we rate and hop into spoilers. Okay.
all right.
Um, do you have a favorite new addition to the cast? Like, did anybody capture you the most that you're like, yeah, I like this version?
You know who actually was kind of good? John Oliver.
I knew you were gonna say that because I was thinking the same thing. I was like, I like John
He's
Oliver in
better.
this.
Like as much as I love Mr. Bean, John Oliver's actually an improvement.
The one thing I didn't like was again his like kind of meta humor about the news, but everything
I felt
else was,
it worked.
Yeah, it worked fine because we knew who he was because he has such a distinct voice. But it was just a little much.
I laughed at that joke.
I laughed too, but I was like, oh god damn
Well, it was early enough that the meta didn't affect me.
Mhm.
Because down the road the metas get a little out of hand.
Okay. All right, Dev. So, unless we have anything else we want to talk about, should we get into our ratings?
Yeah, I'm gonna give you 10 popcorns.
Okay.
Go.
So with this one, I'm very conflicted. Like I said, do I want to rate it on its own? Do I want to rate it in comparison to Lion King? And I'm gonna kind of do somewhere in between that, and give this movie a 5.5. Because if I was gonna watch this on its own and I had never seen the original Lion King, I'd probably give this like a 7.5. But because it takes away a lot of the initial charm from the original Lion King movie, it like, and ultimately like it vamps up the graphics but ruins a lot of the charisma and the fun of the movie. So I would give it on its own, like in comparison directly, probably a 3.5, maybe a 4. So I'll kind of meet the middle ground.
That's fair. For me, I'm definitely going to lean heavier into the comparison side of things because I grew up with this film. I've watched Lion King probably 1,000+ times.
Okay.
Not even like, that's probably not an exaggeration in my life.
Why do you think Dev always wanted to be the Door King?
I'm going to be a mighty king. All right? Fuck off, man. They ruined that song! Oh, God. Like, it's sung well, but the visuals are just meh. It's cool looking from a graphical standpoint, but it takes away so much, because even if I had seen this one first,
Where's the
right?
giant animal tower, man?
Right? I'm sorry. I know you're trying to go for hyper-realistic, but, like, Animal Tower. It's cool. But, like, for me, all right, even if I had seen this version first, I would have wanted to see the original, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because obviously it's got good source material to work from, and I want to see how it changes and stuff like that. And even if I rated it on its own, that rating would change regardless after I saw the other version.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's better. And we talked about it last week about how, we talked about it a little bit with the fact that, like, you were going to say that I was going to be too biased on it.
Yeah, I was saying that, yeah.
And that my feelings about, maybe because it's graphically better, they can make some improvements and stuff like that. But due to the graphical betterness, as we were saying, it takes away so much. It takes away depth. It takes away feeling. It takes away so much. It takes away saturation and color, and this feeling of like it being alive. Mm-hmm. Like, yes, it's visually cool, and visually, like, graphically, it's better than Avatar, in my opinion. This, I'm not even fucking around. It is better than Avatar.
That looked really good. like
when Avatar came out.
well, yeah, well, even Avatar looked nice, but this movie, just the sheer fact that they could do water and like shadings
Oh
with the
yeah.
water and like the light bouncing off of wet parts of fur compared to dry parts of fur, and then all of
Oh
like
yeah. No, it's outstanding.
yeah. So
And it's cool. And maybe if it was an original story or something like that, it would work. But it's Lion King. It's fucking Lion King.
it's
Like
just,
this is one of my phrases throughout high school because I was a very stressed person. Was trying to just say Hakuna Matata to things
Hakuna Matata, yeah.
because I wanted to not worry about it. Like you guys, Steven knows this. I said that from time to time just because I was gonna do in our high school. I was gonna do our Mr. KHS. But band got scheduled something, and then they scheduled that during that same weekend. Like, sorry, band seniors, you can't do it.
I think it was my fault.
I was gonna do Hakuna Matata.
No,
I was gonna play trombone. I was gonna have a couple friends up there, and we were gonna perform Hakuna Matata.
that would
I
have
was
been
gonna
fun.
do the whole Pumbaa parts, like when I was a young warthog.
Which that was my
Very nice.
most disappointed part in the Seth Rogen movie. Like in the Seth Rogen part.
Yeah.
Like he needed to be more.
He didn't have the gusto.
Yeah.
But that's beside the point. We'll get into that in a moment. This is my rant before my rating,
Okay.
which is happening.
So don't you want the cam on
It
for
just
this part?
it takes so much light. I'm gonna rant more probably, and
Okay.
it's over to the side, and I need to save some battery life before going.
Okay.
It sucks so much life out of this fucking thing. It's ridiculous. The amount of just like feeling and love and care that the original version has is just gone. And it hurts. It hurts me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like I grew up on I love Lion King. I can watch Lion King any fucking day of the week. No joke. Still to this day.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, I had Lion King 1.5.
Yeah. Some would arguably say the worst Lion King.
Not anymore. Because even though it's meta as fuck, it does meta better.
Yeah. Oddly enough.
So, honestly, just based off of like the fact that it's a beat for beat lesser version, I have to rate it less.
Okay.
Then I would. Because like Lion King to me is a perfect 10. Right?
Yeah.
So like no matter what, this was gonna fall short of that.
Mm-hmm.
How close it gets to that would be upon watching it, and it falls so short of it for me. So I've got to give it like a 4 at best, because like visually it's cool, but it sucks literally everything else out of that film,
Okay.
the original version.
Okay. I can agree. I can accept that. So, with that being said and done, let's move into spoilers for Lion King here.
Hold on. Let's get ready to spoil.
Thank you for at least trying. There's no soundbite. Maybe next time I'll record it and add it as an option on my side in case this happens again.
In case this happens again.
Yeah.
I'll send you the audio file.
Okay. So yeah, we're now spoiling.
Yes.
So yeah, that was one of them. When
That one, I will say, that one, my entire theater busted up laughing.
that one was pretty, like, out of all times, that was probably the best one of the meta jokes.
Yes. Yes. That and the news are the two best meta jokes.
Mm-hmm. Then there are stupid other things like, oh shoot, I think there's one that really pissed me off between Timon and Pumbaa, but
The aging one?
Oh yes, you aged 40. You gained 400 pounds since the beginning of that song. How are we supposed to explain that? It's like, oh
God.
Are you kidding me?
God.
Yes, thank you for reminding me because I blocked it out of my
Pumbaa,
memory.
Timon and Pumbaa were like Timon and Pumbaa from Lion King 1.5,
Okay, yeah.
which doesn't work in Lion King. It works in Lion King 1.5, but not Lion King.
I will be honest though, I really liked The Lion Sleeps Tonight. That was really good to me.
I don't know, due to the fact of that entire extra cast to their area. I don't know how I've felt about that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, especially because
It's just like,
it adds so many more bodies, and then suddenly the immediate jump scare after with Nala. It's like, is this real now?
well, that was actually, I will say, that was the best scare of the year so far.
You're just da, da,
I
da,
actually
da,
jumped,
da,
and
da,
I
da,
kind of
da.
oh man, this is. I was like, this would be a good point to throw Nala in because it would actually get a. Oh, okay, good job. Wow, all right. I'm glad my film watching has paid off in some way.
Yeah, you're starting
I
to
was
pick
able
up
to predict
cues.
that. Because like in the original, the Nala scene was different.
Mhm.
Pumbaa ends up off to the side, wandering off, and then alone, and then there's Nala.
Yeah,
This worked better, I'll say with that. It was kind of funny.
yeah.
But my problem with the Lion King or the Lion Sleeps Tonight was just it was so extra. This version,
They had the whole orchestra, not a whole
they had
orchestra, a
fucking
whole
antelopes
choir.
doing the coconut thing.
I mean,
Yeah,
there was a lot of weird things in this movie, man. Like like the circle of life. I understand that that's a big theme in this movie. Excuse me, but the sheer fact that Rafiki knows Simba's alive because a dung beetle wraps up a little bit of fur.
that fur would not survive that digestive system of a giraffe. By the way, I'm sorry. There's no fucking way.
Yeah, that one piece of
At least not as a clump. Not as a clump like that. Maybe some threads of hair.
Yeah, no,
but not the clump
the
of hair.
entire clump of hair made it through that entire trek with the really, really realistic looking pile of shit. Because Lion,
They're trying to give John Wick a run for its money
I guess,
with
I was
realistic
more,
shit.
I was more or less thinking Disney was like, we're Disney, we can make them stare at shit. So they roll some shit down a hill, it cracks open.
They're not wrong.
Yeah, it cracks open, the hair blows away a little bit, all of the hair blows away a little bit, gets picked up by an ant, makes its way to Rafiki. Perfect.
Like, okay, the tuft makes sense. Like having it in his hair makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give them that.
Like I didn't like it because it was a good showing of the circle of life there, but at the same time, it's like I would have preferred Rafiki be more mystical spirit shaman, like he used to be.
Yes. God, by the way, Rafiki is just disappointing.
Hello, my old friend. Rafiki's apparently a war veteran.
Seriously. Because he doesn't carry the staff the entire film until he needs it for battle. And I'm like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah, and he
Like,
puts it.
you're supposed to have that to. You're supposed to bonk Simba. You're supposed to bonk Simba.
Yeah, and that shows that he learns because he gets bonked once, twice, and on the third try, it's not a bonk. And it's like, hey, look, he's learned. Same thing, however, with like the fighting.
He's learned from the past.
Yeah, same thing with the fighting when it came to Scar and the Nala. Every time in the original movie, Nala pinned down Simba. When it came to the final fight with Scar, Scar did the exact same thing that Nala did, so Simba was able to counter it and thus killed Scar. In this movie, that doesn't happen. They just end up fighting and then Scar falls off a fucking cliff.
Yeah.
So, like, Simba doesn't learn anything in this movie. It's almost like they completely changed the movie from Simba being the one directing the movie to Simba being the one directed by the movie.
That's a really good way of putting it.
Like,
especially given like some of the scenes, like with like the can't wait to be king.
hmm
Like that's a good example of that because it's just like they're trying to lose Zazu, which okay, yeah, but the ways they go about it, it just seems so trivial to a bird. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah, I kind of get you.
Like I don't know. It this film bothers me on so many levels, and I know it shouldn't.
But it no, but it kind of it's merit warranted though because it just literally takes every good part of this film and when you try to like start thinking about it and dissect you make it's worse. It's genuinely just the worst film version of the original Lion King with better graphics, just worse everything else.
Yeah, and just it sucks. It sucks. I fucking hate it, dude. I just
Like
because I
Rafiki.
love Lion King.
So there's a
Rafiki's awesome.
yeah,
And
there's
then he's not.
Chasing says this in chat. She says, "I'm surprised they changed Rafiki so much, considering he is based off of tribal shamans." Um, when Rafiki in this movie is basically like, how do I, what
In Ex Machina.
I get? Well, yes, he shows up for one thing, but like the way I'm thinking about it is Rafiki shows up to he's almost like a priest in this film rather than a shaman. He shows up to baptize the baby and then goes back to his chapel. And then he helps somebody once, and then at the end of the movie he baptizes another baby.
And does combat when needed.
Oh yeah, he's a retired war vet that joined the Christian religion, and
Holy shit! You're not wrong though. Like they changed Rafiki into a Christian. What the fuck?
so I guess there's that. If we want to think about it that way.
What the fuck?
So do we? Is
I
there?
didn't think about it that way until now. And then you said it that way, it actually makes more sense. Oh god. Steven, what did they do?
I don't know. I just spouted random bullshit, and apparently it made sense.
It's just really weird for you, I'm gonna say.
Oh god, is there any other things we want to spoil about this terrible, not so terrible movie?
Yeah, with Timon and Pumbaa.
Okay, yes, Timon and Pumbaa. Oh, that does
Hakuna
remind me of
Matata.
one more thing. So yeah, Hakuna Matata. Go ahead. Tell me what you want to talk about.
They ruined the Warhog scene.
When I was a young warthog. Yeah, that one. Like,
Yeah. Because you know the word that Timon cuts him off on is fart, right?
yeah.
In the original. Not in front of the kids.
Mm-hmm.
But he says it in this one. Aren't you going to stop me? No, you disgust me. I hated it. I hated it. I hate 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 it. You don't change Hakuna Matata. You don't change a goddamn line in that song.
But they
I
did.
don't care who you are.
They changed Hakuna Matata, Dev. One thing that I also
I know.
one scene that they changed also, which I'm very conflicted on at first, but I just don't really like it, is because they try to shoehorn in a message. Was when Timon, or no, sorry, when Pumbaa confronts the hyenas, because initially, initially in the movie, they called him fat. No, they called him pig or something like that. Yeah, in the original movie they called him Pig, and he's like, "They call me Mr. Pig," and then he attacks him. Which, don't get me wrong, is a movie reference for the adults at that time to a different movie, which is weird for kids. So it makes sense that they changed it. But they changed it to them calling him fat And then he's like, I don't like
No,
bullies.
Chubby.
Chubby, yes, they call him Chubby. Chubby, you called me Chubby? And this isn't even set up at any point in time. Like, at least with Mr. Pig, I think they brought it up.
It's so out of the blue. Well, no. Even Mr. Pig is out of the blue, but it's funny out of the blue.
Because it's just absurd.
This is more like, yeah. This just seems like such a character, like, turn.
Yeah, and
You're
he's...
like, oh. Yeah. All right, Captain America, settle down there, bud.
Yeah, he's just... Yeah,
I don't like a bully.
Yeah, he goes from, I don't fight hyenas, but I will always fight a bully. By the way, if you're being bullied, don't fight them. That's not the right message. There are other ways to deal with bullies. However, yeah, I guess that the message is...
I don't want to beat the shit out of you, I'll say that.
Yeah, the message shouldn't be fight back. It should be don't just let them take advantage of you. But, like, I don't know. It was a weird shoehorned little bit that they threw in there that just kind of felt like it could easily be misconstrued. Because
Agreed.
It was a sudden thing that they dropped in.
Agreed.
Okay. Be
like,
prepared.
Oh, God. And there's another song I need to talk about, too, after that.
Okay.
Holy shit, Be Prepared.
So, Be Prepared went from this, like, army building Nazi march into a Mad Lib slam poetry night.
All right, listen here. I know what video you got that from.
It's the best analogy. I just kind of took it. It really is a good analogy.
Unfortunately. Like, Be Prepared is such a good song. Be prepared.
Which, we did get that one line at least, but it wasn't quite right.
Yeah, but it doesn't earn. It's not earned.
At least
just,
with, like... At least, like, I'm comparing Be Prepared to Arabian Nights by... Yeah, they ruined Be Prepared chasing. They seriously ruined Be Prepared. But I'm comparing Be Prepared to Arabian Nights with Will Smith. Like, they kind of ruined Arabian Nights with Will Smith, but at least it was better. It was still kind of outrageous. This one, Be Prepared...
And it was Arabian Nights just with Will Smith's voice.
Yeah.
Like, at least it was still the same in that sense, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was recognizable. You know? You knew what song it was. This, it starts out and you're like, all right, you're starting the musical cues, you're kind of saying the lines and beat. Are you going to go into song?
Yeah, like...
And then...
Go ahead.
He doesn't.
He goes into song for, like, one line, and then the very last line. I think. But everything else is just...
like, maybe every so often something else kind of in a beat.
Yeah, he'll, like, just sing the last little bit of it, and it's fine.
Pisses me the fuck off. You want to laugh? Other song pissed me off?
Was it the Love Tonight song?
You mean Love Today song?
Yes! The Love Today song. Can you feel...
Like, I heard someone point that out, alright, before seeing it, that, like, Can You Feel the Love Tonight is gonna be during the day. And I'm like, okay, maybe they mean, like, late afternoon. Which is more understandable, because that goes into the evening, you know, which is one of the lines.
Yeah.
No, this starts out early morning and ends late afternoon.
Can you feel the love?
No, because it's not tonight. I'm sorry.
Today.
I can't feel the love. My God.
I didn't even notice that at first, I'll be completely honest, because I liked the music.
I had heard about it before, so I was like, oh, it can't be that noticeable, right? No, as soon as you know about it, I'm like, holy shit, it's like midday for all of this. There's no tonight, there's no evening. What the fuck? What are you doing? Stop.
Hakuna
Please,
Matata, man.
for the love of God.
There's no worries. It doesn't matter.
Fuck you. Fuck your goddamn Hakuna Matata, Disney. God. It's just, it just shits on all that, man.
Also, quick question.
I had a problem with almost every song in this film.
Did they add a song for the return trip back?
Yes.
Okay, because I remembered, like, I didn't
Well,
Yes?
there's kind of a song for it. So that's like da 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 da, something like that.
Like, I could have sworn
Da
there
da
was
da
a song with
da
lyrics that none of the
da da
actual
da da.
characters were singing.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. But this one they change it to be Beyonce in the
Dev's
film.
mug is, Dev's mugs is currently turned off at the moment because it was just easier on his phone.
Sorry.
It happens. Um, so, yeah, just the music. Just all in all, the music was a little upsetting. The spirit and the fantasy-esque, like, characteristics of the lions and the lionesses and stuff were lackluster, and it took away a lot of the charm. All in all,
They all felt like Aslan.
yeah, I guess so.
If you get that reference, points.
From the Chronicles of Narnia,
Yeah.
yeah.
Except they're not voiced by Liam Neeson this time.
Okay. All right, let's. I think we're done with spoilers. Do you want to hop into the news?
Sure.
Okay. All right, I'm switching us over to the news. So, which bit of news do you want to talk first? Because this is mostly your news segment that I'm just going to throw things on.
Okay, fair enough. Can I start with my normal segment that I normally go into?
Absolutely, you can. I had a feeling that was going to be what it was.
Did you see how close it is?
Dev, did you know it's already passed?
On my end, it's not. Hold on.
It passed a few days ago.
Did it?
Yeah. Like yesterday. It passed.
Sorry, the Google search wasn't updated to that. It said Google on their box office one said 2.775 billion, but I wasn't on Box Office Mojo. Holy shit!
Yeah,
I called it.
Yeah.
I fucking called it. I fucking called it.
Yeah.
Fuck everyone who
So-
said that I was wrong.
Yeah, so like when I messaged you yesterday after you sent me the string of tweets, when I said, "Does any of it have to do with galactic scale news?" It's because I thought you already knew that Avengers Endgame is now officially the highest grossing film of all time.
Which it deserves.
Yeah. By a whopping currently $500,000. They're now the
Hell yeah.
So,
Yeah, but it's not going to re-release in other countries, so they're going to miss out on that market. Nah. Fuck all those articles.
yeah, you were right. Everybody else was wrong. Congratulations.
Thank you. I've earned this one. I'm sorry.
You're welcome.
You and all the articles told me I was wrong. And I wasn't.
Did I hit the wrong button? I can't remember what my buttons are for this. Hold on. So is that no news? Okay, I was hitting the wrong buttons.
Way to go.
I forgot what my hotkeys were. Sorry.
All right. So, along the same path, though,
Yeah.
Marvel news,
So
we got our Phase 4 announcements.
Okay.
And I'm going to run over them in order of when they say they're releasing.
okay.
So, first off, next year, May 2020, Black Widow, which...
Did they discuss if it was a prequel or a sequel?
Let me go to the thing.
I was about to say you can do that now that you don't have to worry about video.
I don't have an easy. I can't find it as fast on phone.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Let me see the. I'm not gonna actually pull the whole thing up on stream, but I can at least look up what you sent me. So Black Widow.
The tweet doesn't say anything about it being prequel or not, but
Okay.
there's probably articles about it saying whether or not, and we'll worry about that more later at some point. Our first Disney Plus Marvel series, Falcon and Winter Soldier, coming fall 2020. After that, November 6th, 2020, we get The Eternals. movie,
which has an
which
interesting cast.
yes, that's a good way of putting it. It's a very good way of putting it.
So yeah, because I saw that little bit of news. Like one of the people that are being cast was Camille Nanjiani. We also
Yes.
have Angelina Jolie uh, as
Yep.
Thena. We have Madong Seok as the Forgotten One. We have Richard Mannon as Icarus. Salma Hayek, Brian Tyree Henry. Like these are all some interesting names to be thrown together into a Marvel film.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool though.
Yeah, the one that
To be honest,
out of all of those, who is the one that you least expected?
honestly, it's Marvel. I expect anyone to show up in it at this point.
Okay, for
If
me,
that's fair.
yeah, for me, the one that I least expected was Angelina Jolie.
She was announced a long time ago though for it. So.
Like I both know that, but like, just the thought of Angelina Jolie deciding, you know what, I want to wear a super suit. It just doesn't seem like a thought that would occur to me. But
Fair,
whatever. All right,
but I don't even know if she's wearing a super suit. You know what I mean? She's gonna be an Eternal.
I guess that's true.
They don't really have super suits, trust me. And then we got Shang-Chi, which I'm so looking forward to because they're gonna go into the Legend of the Ten Rings, which means we're finally gonna get the Mandarin
Yes,
and the Organization of the Ten Rings return. It's gonna be so fucking cool.
and
And we get Shang-Chi, which he's an awesome martial arts character. He's part of some really cool groups in the MC or Marvel Comics, and it's gonna be cool.
I really look forward to this because I look forward to see Marvel take on like a John Wick fight with Shang-Chi.
Oh God, yes.
Because that's something that's
Please.
finally going to happen with like we get really cool fights in Marvel movies anyways, but we don't get cool realistic like fast-paced close-up fights. And this would be
We don't get martial arts fights.
yeah, and this
is gonna be martial arts.
yeah, this is going to be great. Absolutely.
Then spring 2021. Sorry for that's Ten Rings comes out February 12th of 2021. WandaVision, which will be Scarlet Witch Vision, spring 2021.
Which
Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
those two, which I found out are connected.
Those two series?
Yeah, WandaVision and Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness are connected. What's happening is WandaVision is actually a sequel after Endgame, even though Vision's dead. What's happening is Wanda is going to do something where she's helping Doctor Strange, and whatever happens in that movie is going to directly affect what happens in the Disney Plus show.
Well, the Disney Plus show happens before Multiverse of Madness.
Mm-hmm. Only it releases spring 2021, so we're going to get a couple episodes without like beforehand. She's going to help out Doctor Strange in the movie, and then after that movie, there's going to be a change in the episodes.
Okay, cool.
So
I'm down.
Yeah, it's
That's like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was.
Exactly.
Just more connected than what Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Exactly.
was. Okay. Cool. And just, by the way, the name, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Like, what a title.
it's going to have a lot. Like, I am looking forward. I was literally talking to my dad about Doctor Strange yesterday. I was like, I look forward to another, like, trippy visual spectacle movie like Doctor Strange. Like Spider-Man had a little bit of it, but Doctor Strange did a lot better.
And you know, it's a different kind of spectacle with Spider-Man. So this is. I as soon as I saw that, I'm like, Steven's happy. It's happening earlier.
Yep, I was very happy.
Also, spring 2021, Loki, which you know what, those might be connected too.
Yeah,
Loki might be a multiverse thing, so those two might be connected in some way. The series I'm actually surprisingly most looking forward to now, because I didn't even know if it was coming, is What If, summer 2021. What If is one of the coolest like series of comics that Marvel had. And like they're like, oh, we're doing this now too, and I'm like, oh my god, yes, please, thank you.
I'm interested in that only because like Loki seems like its own version of What If, but just more extended.
Potentially over one character, while What If is probably going to go over different scenarios of what if this changed.
Mm-hmm.
Which actually, Agents of the Shield kind of had a season about that inside of a like a what is it? It's during the LMD series.
Okay.
Where they're inside like this like computer universe. And so, like only two of the Shield agents know that they're actually in that universe. Wow, the others are in the universe don't realize that it's really changed. Besides, like maybe minor things in their head, just kind of be like, this doesn't always feel right.
Okay.
And what changes is that Shield loses to Hydra before Winter Soldier, and Hydra kills all the heroes.
Oh.
And Hydra rules the world.
Okay. Yeah, this seems off.
It's crazy. But it's a what if. Like, it's a what if that took place in a series.
Okay.
This is just more of that, and I love what ifs.
Which, speaking of, I also just found out What If is going to be an animated series. It's not going to be live action.
All right, cool. That's even better, honestly. Gives them a little bit more freedom with it.
Mm-hmm. And it makes it so the old actors can still do their voices if they really want to.
Yeah. Yeah, let's do it. I'm all for it. Hawkeye, coming fall 2021, which I'm looking forward to. Apparently it's going to have Kate Bishop, which, if you don't know, is the other Hawkeye.
Okay.
Who ends up in the Young Avengers, which is perfect Young Avengers setup because we've already got Casey Lang at the right age, and her and Kate Bishop, good friends from the Young Avengers.
Okay.
We're getting it set up. Young Avengers is probably going to happen. And then finally, we have November 5th, 2021, Thor: Love and Thunder. Of course, Chris and Tessa are reprising their roles as Thor and Valkyrie. But you want to know who else is reprising their role?
Let me know, Dev. I would love to know.
Natalie Portman's reprising her role as Jane Foster as Lady Thor.
That one I can already tell, has had a lot of controversy.
From the comics alone, yes.
Mm-hmm. So, like, that one I'm interested in only because I heard rumor. I don't know if this one's true, but rumor has it that this, even though it's Thor...
Rumor has it.
Yeah,
Sorry.
rumor has it. Even though it's Thor: Love and Thunder, it's less about Thor, more about Tessa Thompson and Natalie Portman, as they try to develop a relationship as King and Queen of Asgard.
I'm down. Let's go.
Okay.
Valkyrie's a cool character, and Jane Foster, if she's Thor, can probably be a really awesome character. Because she's slightly underdeveloped in the first two Thor films.
I would say so.
And let's also hope Lady Sif at least shows up, because we don't know what she's apparently still alive. She's just somewhere.
Just somewhere.
So,
she exists.
Please tie off that loose end, for the love of God. Then on top of that, I know I said there's an extra announcement they made, which I didn't think was happening.
Not on this graphic. Let me see if I can pull it up real fast. But yeah, keep going.
Blade,
indeed.
Oh my god, dude, I'm so happy about that. Like, you have no idea. I loved Blade. And with Mahershala Ali, I think I said his first name all right, I think. He's a great actor. Like, he's a fantastic actor.
Mm-hmm.
And him to play this goddamn brooding, badass motherfucker is perfect. And I look so forward to this. And I know some people are complaining, but what about Wesley Snipes?
That old man?
Well, not just that. You've heard what happened during... I think Wesley Snipes isn't that much older than Mahershala. Yeah. But you know how much of a pain in the ass he was during Blade Trinity?
I heard he was pretty difficult to work with.
He was so difficult during a scene he's supposed to open his eyes, he didn't. It's like he's supposed to wake up. He didn't, so they had to CGI his eyes
Oh God.
opening. They are literally CG eyes.
Well, he was being an ass, so we just used what we got.
Literally CG eyes. Like I can't make that shit up.
I understand the pun you're making there, Dev.
I'm not the first one to make it. That's literally what people have called it.
Well, I
They're
get
known as the CG eyes.
Tee-hee.
You can't make that up. So people being like, "What about Wesley Snipes?" I'm like, look into the history of Blade Trinity, and you'll understand why not Wesley Snipes.
Because he was a dick.
Pretty much. Other than that, there's some cool stuff like Picard got a trailer, and goddamn you, CBS, I'm gonna pay for your fucking subscription now. So fuck you.
I mean,
Um,
what my dad does is he pays for CBS subscription only for the two TV shows. So now Picard, and he watched Star Trek Discovery. So
I'm gonna watch it for that, which means I'll probably finish. I'll go through and watch all of Twilight while I have it. But fucking Picard trailer looks cool. There's so many good trailers. Like, DC's next season of Arrowverse shows trailers looked good. The Harley Quinn trailer looked good.
Chasing here is speculating that not within the next 2 years, but probably within the next couple. I'm putting words in her mouth that we're gonna get a House of M.
Potentially.
That's something she's freaking about out and about in chat. She's after we started talking about the Eternals and stuff.
House of M event is a crazy event, and with them having the X-Men, they can do it. And Vision being dead, they can do it because that's an important part. So we'll see what they set up. They could at least start setting the groundwork for it, which would be great. So I'm and like it's just they've got some. They're setting things up perfectly with Marvel, honestly, to continue on the stories. Like, just based off of the titles for that, like, they're taking the series to the next step.
Yeah.
Which is what they needed to do. So, kudos on them for that.
Absolutely.
I'm glad you agree, Steven. I like it. Makes me happy that you are confident in Marvel's future as well.
I'm excited to see what they're gonna do. Like Marvel, as much as I'm at times on and off about what they do, they still every movie always has something really cool to see. So I can't say that Marvel's bad, even if they're I just can't. They're good.
Even in like Marvel's good. It's just what they cause has been bad.
Yeah.
For movies, because everyone wants a fucking franchise.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything else major for me, at least from San Diego Comic-Con that really stuck out.
I do like nothing major. I mean, at some point, I feel like you and me need to watch the Cats trailer together. But
oh God, I watched that trailer.
Yeah, I did too. So
Oof.
that's something we could talk
Can we
about.
Talk about that a little bit
if you want to. I thought you wanted to be done by now, though. So
I want to talk a little bit on it.
Okay.
You know, when we were joking about like I try not to shit on too much on film trailers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like I defended the Sonic trailer a little bit, being like, yeah, it's not great, but like, I mean, at least they're doing something. I guess it's gonna be a shit film regardless of how Sonic looks. Yeah. Was my opinion on it. Holy crap, man!
Like
this shit's scary.
It's scary, but to me, I'm very in the middle. Like, I don't think it's scary, but I definitely think it's weird because, like, I sent out a tweet about it at first that said like it looked like Amblin Entertainment, the production company that's making this film, said live action lions, and they made Cats. That being said, Cats the Broadway musical was really good. At least I thought it was.
That's what I've heard. I've seen it once in middle school.
Mm-hmm. And just
before I understood like that kind of style, like that side of music.
Yeah,
I'll say.
And don't get me wrong, what they did is weird. It definitely looks like an over dramatized, like it's way Tim Burton-y. It's like young Tim
Well,
Burton.
it's not even Tim Burton-y. It's like it's Uncanny Valley creepy. Like there are certain points where like people's faces just don't line up where they should be. I've noticed in some of the screenshots I've seen.
And then and
I'm like,
and the worst, like the big thing that has me about it is like they have, because it's such a well-known Broadway play, they have such huge actors and actresses and vocalists in this movie. Like Idris Elba's in it. They have Taylor Swift. They have like
yeah, they have fucking T Swift in it. What the fuck? They have Jason Derulo.
um I thought I saw, I'd have to double check, but I thought I saw,
Ian McKellen's in
yes,
it.
that was the one I was thinking of, Ian McKellen. Like
Fucking Ian McKellen.
Rebel Wilson. Let's see.
James Corden.
Yeah, James Gordon. Let's see. Jennifer Hudson. Fuck. There's a lot of good cast members in this movie because it's a good musical. It's just they picked a weird time.
I feel so bad for all of those actors because they did this entire thing in morph suits.
Yeah, the little. Yeah. Yeah.
And then they see that and just kind of gotta be like, "Ugh, I'm attached to this. Fuck."
I don't think in all honesty, even though this is a weird thing and the internet's freaking out about it, I bet you all of those actors like this movie.
They might like the movie, but they might not like how it looks.
Possibly. I mean, they did it. They're the ones moving their arms and dancing in those weird ways.
For a paycheck.
Not everything's for a paycheck. We don't know the stories behind
I know
these
not
people.
everything's. I know. I'm more saying that at the end of the day,
They're getting
the
paid.
actors can turn on that film whenever they want.
True. Okay.
After their after all that stuff, after it's done, and they don't have to promote it anymore, and they can finally go back and be like, "Holy shit, that was a train wreck."
We'll have to find out, I guess. Like, it was...
What, December?
Yeah, once everybody can start talking about things. Ah, I see. Chasing says she's sure this movie was only gonna, like... Chasing essentially saying that the Cats was trying to come out as a counter to Sonic, as another anthropomorphic animal kind of thing.
I mean, it's the closest comparison you can make in film so far.
Yeah, like
it's just sad.
In movie
That's sad.
releases, there's this thing where they try to counter. It's basically counter queuing, is what it's called, where somebody says that we're announcing this film and releasing it at this date, and then another movie theater, another studio is like, you know what, we can make a movie that can compete against this one, and we'll release it just a week after or around the same time, and like they fight each other for views and stuff to see who can make the better film. So I guess
I don't know if they're after that because that's a very specific audience that they're after.
Yeah, this is definitely a movie for, I'd say, the older generation cats, like those who really love Broadway musicals and plays.
I'm just, Steven, what are we coming to?
Well, clearly,
superhero films are the best film trailers that we're getting to lately. Have you noticed that?
oh, so oddly enough, I watched some of the Shazam trailers yesterday because I watched Aquaman with my dad last night, and one of the trailers was Shazam. And I was like, wow, the trailer for Shazam is a lot more dramatic than the movie. Like, a lot of trailers make the movies look really dramatic or like really intense when they really aren't. At least that's what I noticed.
I'm just saying, like, trailers for superhero films seem to be better than others lately.
I mean, that's what everybody's
Marvel
working
films.
on. Like, that's just what movie industry's become.
Alright, so I gotta get going, though.
Okay.
So
yeah, let's wrap this up then. Thank you for joining us, everybody, on this super amazing, fantastical... Oops, wrong button. this critically casual. Do you want to show your face to say goodbye, or nah?
Nah.
All right.
You see my face.
That's true. We can see your face. So, goodbye from us here. Give us a like, follow, subscribe on Twitter, on YouTube. We got a Discord. Check that out. We launched a new show, which I'll talk about in a moment. But Tuesdays, this upcoming Tuesday, we have Third Player Optional with Caver J and Torn. So check that out. The day after, on Wednesday, we started our new show, which is Hardcore Game Night, which... Congratulations to Caver J on being the first ever Hardcore Game Night champion in the game of Uno. We'll figure out what we're doing
Fucking
next week.
bitch.
Yeah. Thursdays, we have the Har Har podcast, which is hosted by Dev, who will probably have a computer again. Maybe.
Hopefully.
Jay says you hate him because you ain't him.
Yeah, fuck you, man. No, it was, despite who came out on top, like, that was one of the most entertaining games we've ever done.
That was really fun.
And it was fucking Uno.
Yeah. So, okay. And join our Discord. I think I already said that.
Yep.
Yeah. Either way.
Follow us on Twitter, follow us here. Yep. Bye.
Bye, everyone. Have fun at your game, Dev.
Will do.
All right. Bye, guys.